Hello Libra friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Libra July 2021 Astrology Must Knows. Definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com to see the long and growing list of free offerings that I have for you each month. That's the best place to interface with everything that I'm giving you. Also, if you'd like to be a professional astrologer, if you think I go into a lot of details in the videos that are free and all of my other resources, you will be blown away by the comprehensive nature of my Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery course, which you can see at my school at lumelife.com, L-U-M-E life.com. So, what is going on this month? We always have a lot of things to talk about because I love those details, and I know I have a bunch of you out there that crave the details too. So we're going to go into our must-know list. 2 admin notes to make the most of this video. One is that this is for you if Libra is your moon, Libra is your sun, Libra is your rising, even if Venus or Mars or Mercury. Many of you go deeper into your charts, and I always encourage that. You can run a free birth chart online. Just search for online how to run a free birth chart, and then you can see more about your chart, and you'll be able to use my resources that I give you and other resources online in deeper ways when you do that. The second thing is that if you're a late degree Libra placement, so if your birthday is from around, we'll say like the 13th or so of October through the rest of the sign, or if you're about 20 to 29 degrees for your Libra placement, I also suggest that you watch my Scorpio videos, and also so Libra and Scorpio for you late degree placements. And also for other astrologers, experiment with watching Scorpio videos. The later you are in Libra, the more you're likely to find resonance with Scorpio resources. Okay, so the first very exciting must know is that with Mercury officially leaving its post-transit shadow phase on around July 7th, we are opening up into one of those brilliant open periods in the stars that I always love to sing about, which is when you can have your clarity, the big commitments, the big decisions, the momentum returns, and you can plan more than a day ahead and see more than a step in front of you. And those are times that we really, really love and crave. So we just kind of had a big slide back with the retrograde at the end of May and all of June, and so that will be very welcome. So basically from the days around July 7th or 8th through the days around September 7th, so most of July, all of August, and the early part of September is in this beautiful phase of open stars. More things that are very well supported during this brilliant launch period from around July 7th or around September 8th are engagements, weddings, big parties, travel, major plans, big agreements, major expensive purchases, redesign, redecorating, anything having to do with agreements, starting new businesses, adding different divisions onto businesses, looking for jobs, finding jobs, changing work, anything bold, anything important, moving, like your physical house where you live, your housing, selling houses, buying houses, anything like that, investing, all of those types of things are the things that are amazing to do in this brilliant launch period from around July 7th through around September 8th, kind of those dates in there. So basically most of July, all of August, and the first part of September is just free flow in the stars. The next major must know for July is that we are having afterquakes from the May and June eclipses. Eclipses are not the same in astrology as they are in astronomy. In astronomy, they happen at the moment that they happen. In astrology, there is a long phase of a storyline that's going on that makes major change in our lives. It clears karma. It helps us step into our dharma. And so we are not having an eclipse this month, but we are in the eclipse season still from May and June, and you may see big news come in or advancement along the fronts of what the eclipses had brought in. Now, these are favorable aspects for Libra placements. The Gemini Sagittarius eclipse cycle is making beautiful aspects to your placement. So hopefully you've had wonderful news. There's always the chance, because we have more placements than just, whatever you're watching for, that there could be challenges. But from the Libra perspective, the odds are that it will be positive. And if you'd like to see more about what areas of life are likely to be affected and what storylines are going on and understand eclipse cycles and their complex nature, I go into lots of details about that in the May and June reports. I also tell you what fields of experience are lit up for you. So I highly recommend you refer back to those videos. The next thing I want to talk about is Jupiter. Jupiter has been in another favorable aspect for Libras because it's been making its way through Aquarius, which has been making the most favorable in all angle and all of astrology for Libras, the trine. And so we've had here in like the summer or winter for you all down under, we've been having a little time of dipping into Pisces, but it's not far enough away from Aquarius for it to have been losing its magic. Okay, so that's the first must know. The area of life that has been accentuated over this year and will continue to be the area of focus for Libra's Jupiter expansion has to do with your true love sector. And I have a very personal story about this too. My husband, when Jupiter was going through his 5th house, is when we got together back in the last Jupiter cycle of where it is at this point. And so it is true. Many astrologers believe, and I've personally experienced, that Jupiter in your 5th house can bring your true love in, or can very radically advance your romantic life in whatever way. People who are, with their person they love, they can get engaged, they can get married, they, have kids. There's just expansion to those fronts. Also, something that's been very highlighted for you all has to do with children and creativity. So like the making of actual babies or bringing them up, or important things involving children, your own and others, or the creativity babies. Your creativity has been supercharged, and if you're feeling a little bit of a dulling out at this time, don't worry, it's going to return back to strength in that field. So just kind of take a break if things seem to be cooling off. Don't resist it, and know that it's very likely going to come back. And also, I call this your bucket list area, and this has to do with doing the things you've always wanted to do. My fashionistas and people out in front of people, actors, models, anyone, people on Instagram, people who are just being seen in the world or want to be seen, you've had some extra boosts here. And as Jupiter is kind of phasing out a little bit in that expansion, we've got all of this energy in Leo and Venus and Mars connecting in Leo that will help bring this energy back for you. I'll talk about that more later, but this sector for you is still going to be super strong. Now, the area of life that is starting to become affected, especially for early degree placement, so that's our September born Libras, but everyone from the whole house perspective has a chance to have this new sector of the 6th house being woken up by Jupiter. So let's talk about some implications of that and just know the timeline here. So we've got a few months of this being brought into focus, then it sort of fades out like into the fall or spring for you all down under. But then come the end of December through the first third of May, the energies of the 6th house are going to be full bore. Okay, so the whispers that we have now of 6th house expansion are going to be full bore in the early part of 2022. And that has to do with your health. It has to do with your wellness, stress reduction, stress management, anything having to do with your structures, your system, your organizations, trying to manage your life, manage the information coming in, getting your house organized, your car, your life, anything having to do with your pets and animals or working with animals. Those areas are all accentuated. Also, like finding perfect wellness practitioners, or anything having to do with like diets, the diet that works for you, changing your diet, going to the gym, working on your health, things like that are all being brought into the forefront. Okay, so let's see what else is going on. The last thing I wanted to talk about as a must-know for Jupiter is that those of you in the late degree Libra designation, so it's specifically from 22 degrees to the 29 degrees, so that's going to be like around October 16th through the rest of the sign, you all are going to have extra kisses from Jupiter, because when Jupiter goes back into Aquarius, it's going to be making that beautiful trine configuration with your placement. And this is great for all Libra placements, but those of you who are in the 22 to 29 degrees or around October 16th through the rest of the sign, you all still have special extra kisses ahead from Jupiter. And Jupiter kisses are some of the best kisses because Jupiter is the most, is the great benefic. It brings luck and harmony and flow and expansion and growth and, just optimism and changing of perceptions. it's just a very magical time. Okay, so the next must know is this month we do have some Pluto oppositions, and we also have more salty aspects than we do sweet ones. And when that happens, we experience more resistance. Resistance is something in life that we try to avoid. We, think that we dread this energy and, can be very unpleasant. But I have a Sagittarian optimistic view of resistance, and that is that it is productive and often necessary for us to get to our goals, to get on track, to get to where we want to be. And so the energies that are coming up this month, I'm saying don't fear them, we don't have the big outer planet clashes like we do in other months. These are just kind of nuisance aspects. And these nuisance aspects bring this resistance. But again, here is why I think that I want to help you reframe this energy of resistance. Think about tires. Think about the laws of physics that rule why better tires with more grip, work better. Why, when you have more grip on your tires, there's more resistance on the road, so you can go faster, you can be more fuel efficient, you can stay going straight, instead of wobbling all around the road with bald tires. That resistance is necessary for a better ride and a more productive ride. And that's how it is with life. Resistance is necessary for those things. So that's what you're going to have. You're going to have some resistance. And, and as it comes up, just think about, well, Annie said that energy is coming, but it's going to help you to get to where you're going in a faster, more productive way. And the more you greet it and overcome it, just as the tire greets the road in every moment, the easier it can be for you. Okay, so the next must know is that we still have a strong showing of energy from Cancer. And Cancer energies are very emotional. In general, these aren't energies that flow as easy for Libra, because Libra energies think, it's a mental, intellectual energy, and the energy of emotion can sometimes cloud thinking. And Libras don't like to have their thinking clouded, by those energies. So you will notice a little bit of nuisance energy again there, and it may especially come up in your work sector or how you're showing up in the world. For those of you who aren't working or don't need to work or don't work for money, just what your offerings, what you're showing up in the world, how you're interfacing with the world can be that sort of a little crunkly, as I like to call it, because of the square aspect there. Or it could just be something like, for instance, maybe you've been trying to get a job. This energy is fantastic for your work sector, employment, advancements, businesses, anything like that. But it may require more work to get to the goals, okay? But that's okay. Like, maybe you get the job that you want, but now it requires more work. And maybe you get a raise, but now you have more work. Or you might be switching jobs, and maybe that's favorable for you, but the, sort of awkwardness of the transition of learning the new things could be how it manifests. So it's like this double-edged sword. It's like something is going on in that sector that could be uncomfortable, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's just, some annoying things that go along with getting to where you want to be. Or maybe you have to move for work or something like that. Okay, so another must know is that the Leo energies are also very strong this month, and as I alluded to earlier, they're supercharged from Venus and Mars moving through Leo and making a conjunction in Leo. So it's rare that Venus and Mars are together. This only happens every couple of years, and so and it rarely happens in the sign of Leo. Okay, so that's even more rare. And so as these planets move together, the energies of Leo are very much accentuated. And for Libra placements, this is wonderful because they make this aspect of the ingredients on a counter aspect. It's called the sextile, that is full of potential. So when I say ingredients on a counter, I mean like someone drops you off groceries and they're on your counter. But then if you come by and you say, where's my casserole, right? Or I always like to say pie, but well, the ingredients are there for you to make it. But it might not be ready-made, okay? They're not dropping off a ready-made casserole on your counter. That's usually with the trines, although you do have some action from that too. But with this specific Leo energy, you have to do something with the energy. You have to do something with the potentials. But that's fantastic timing because, as we discussed earlier, this is a wonderful time to do something. You'll have the momentum, you have the energy, the ambition, the drive. And so as opportunities come for you, you'll have the perfect climate, the perfect environment to make good use of those opportunities. And they might be more readily apparent, but of course, always be on the lookout for opportunities that are things you have to look for as an opportunity. You might have to look for those opportunities, but the odds are they'll be there. Okay, so another must know about the combination between these water energies and fire energies with the Cancer and the Leo is the visual of a pot with water on a flame, okay? And so again, the water and the fire themselves don't always mix very well, like especially if the water is putting out the fire, right? But if we get the configuration right where the fire, the water is contained in the pot and the fire is underneath there and it's making all these productive bubbles for you to make tea or for you to make steam or, for whatever you're trying to do, it increases productivity and it increases the chance for the outcomes that you're working on to be expanded. And it increases the odds that you can use the emotional energies that are coming up to put them to good use. So for instance, let's say something comes up and some of these salty aspects get you aggravated and you're like, mad, right? Okay, well, remember what I said about this. This could be an opportunity in disguise. The feeling, the emotion could be an opportunity because now you can do something about it. Or now you can take steps to not have that feeling happen again, So it could be the emotions could be highly productive at this time. And the more you actively do things to convert emotions into outcomes, the better. Now, I don't mean taking action while you're mad, okay? Because that's not productive. We want you to calm down, think clearly, and then do something that works on the cause of the issue, not something that just is you acting out on the anger or whatever emotion that you have, okay? So I just wanted to be clear there. Okay, so the last thing that I want to talk about, last must know, is we've got a little list of fire-air kisses. And fire-air kisses are especially amazing for Libra placement. So I want to give you some dates here, and just remember that I'm giving you a few highlights, but if you want to know all of the dates of the notable aspects of every month, a month beforehand, what the aspect is, what the planets are, what the signs are, what you can expect from that, also with a general write-up of the month delivered into your inbox 1 month early, then go to anniehelpsyou.com and sign up for my free email newsletter. I do not spam you. I only send out a few very content-rich emails a month that helps you to make the most of the aspects. Okay, so the first stretch of time is in the first week of July. We've got a kiss on July 2nd and then a kiss on July 7th. Both are involving the planet Chiron. This is when Venus moves in, and then first it's Mars and then it's Venus, kiss Chiron. Now, when aspects are made with the wounded healer of Chiron, this generally means that something that was a problem in the past is now bringing a blessing. So let's say you had issues with food intolerances, and that was a problem for you, and that came from woundedness in your body or from your emotions or something that happens, and you did some healing work around that and maybe changed your diet, and now let's say you changed your diet for food intolerances, but then you wound up losing weight. So there's like this other aspect of doing healing work where that's giving you something that you might not even been trying to do. And that's what this energy is like. That's just one of many examples of how working to heal something in the past or present can give you extra goodies. So the whole first week is lit up with that for Libra placements. And every Libra placement can get kisses from this, but you'll have more kisses from this the closer to 12 degrees you are. So this is basically like the first week of October, the last couple of days of September, the first, week or so of October, and the closer to 12 degrees you are, the more you get that kiss. Then on the 13th, we've got more of a boost again from Venus and Mars, okay? So they are traveling in close proximity for several weeks, which encompasses most of July. So you get all the goodies from that, the boosts to even self-esteem, and like I said, the fashionistas and the models and anyone who does anything out in front of people where you have to look good or you have to create resources based on aesthetics, or if you're a singer or an athlete and you're out in front of everybody, everybody there is getting extra special kisses all month long. But Anyone can benefit from the myriad ways that this can manifest positively. And if you're closer to 19 degrees, so this will be around, okay, so we'll say between 14 and 24 degrees, the closer to 19 degrees, the more you get the kiss. And 19 degrees will be about, we'll say the days around October 10th. So like October 5th through October 15th, you'll get more kisses from that aspect in the days around the 13th. Then the last kissy here is in the days around the 17th. When I say days around, remember that these are not just like isolated moments. These are orbs of energy that flow into one another that you often feel before and after. So the full moon in Aquarius is on the 17th, and the days before the 17th and the days after July 17th, you can feel those kisses. Now, those of you who are in the October born, the closer to 1 degree you are, the more you'll get the kiss from this. Okay, so this is a trine. This is the most favorable aspect in all of astrology. This is the getting the pie or casserole directly delivered to your house instead of the ingredients to make it type of energy. But again, since it's in your same elements, every Libra can benefit from this, but the October born and closer to 1 degree, you'll get even more kisses from this. If you would like even more information about the starry opportunities ahead, then definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com and sign up for my free email newsletter list. I only send out a few emails a month, and they are all chock full of how you can make the most of the starry opportunities. Plus, you get all kinds of other VIP freebies and extra exclusive things by being a member of my email list. Since most of the work I do for you is free, it's hard to sometimes keep track of everything I do. I do have information when you click on the More button on this video, or if you're listening to the podcast version, in the notes underneath the podcast, you can connect in with all of these free things I do, the podcast, the videos, the blogs, the interviews, and all kinds of goodies. And now at anniehelpsyou.com, right on the front page, I have a better organized list of all of these resources, so you can check that monthly and be taking advantage of all the things I do for you. If you would like to be an astrologer as your profession, make sure that you go to lumelife.com, L-U-M-E, life.com, my school, Luminous Life Multiversity. You will find free courses there as well, and you will find my paid courses. And one of the paid courses is this astrology program, Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery course. If you think I put a lot of details into my free offerings, you should see what I do in my paid offerings. It's really, really, really comprehensive. So I can definitely teach you everything you need to know to be a successful professional astrologer, earning money for your love for astrology. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.